Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and today I'm excited to have the founder of SmashGo, a digital transformation coach and consultants company that works with businesses to embrace the online world and create a more profitable, scalable business. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Nik Cree. Nik, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be here early in the morning. We're in down under Australia. Well, I think we're not quite down under. We're the other way around. It's just that, we flip it on its head.
Yeah, you guys change. You flip everything. The Aussies and Tasmanians and all you guys down there, you guys flip everything, business on its head and do things differently, which I love because it's outside of the box thinking. And so I'm so happy to have you here to share your knowledge, share your wisdom with my audience. So again, thank you so much for being here.
Fantastic to be here. Actually, it's funny you should say that as well, because I was talking to a friend of mine just yesterday, and he said, how come is it that everyone goes to the US to get all their information? I said, I'm not so sure that's right. I said, I think they like Aussies over in the US. And he said, yeah, that's really weird. I wonder why that is. And I said, well, it's probably because we get all the information from the US to start with. We turn it over, flip it on its head, we mold things, change things, and then we give it back to you guys, and you think it's brand new.
Exactly. That's what I love about it, because you guys see everything from a different perspective because of where you are in the world and that. So I'm very excited. I want you just to do a quick introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself and SmashGo.
Well, yes, my name's Nik Cree. In fact, I was born on a little tiny island called Norfolk Island, which has got the reputation of being Australia's worst prison. And I do like to tell people I was born in the worst prison in Australia. That gives that sort of context of a real badass sort of story to start life with. But I have to say, with the time that I was born there, it was only captive for newlyweds and nearly deads. It was a holiday tourist destination. But I won't bore you about sort of my journey from then until now. But I started in the online world. Geez, when was it? 1979. That was the first time I ever touched a computer, and my first line of code was written on an old Sinclair ZX84 computer. So look that one up. It'll be in the Internet Archive somewhere.
I actually kind of know that because my dad worked with that as well.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, eh?
You're welcome. What can I do? Helping everyone out while I can.
Yeah. But look, I really got my start in the digital world when I had a mortgage broking company. I set it up and I thought I need a website. And this is back in, when was it? 2001. So, the web world was still reasonably new. I knew nothing about it. And there we go. We had an American firm come out to New Zealand. I was living in New Zealand at the time. And they sold me a website package, which cost me 10 grand. So this is 10 grand back in 2001. And it didn't even have a website. I opened it up thinking, oh, great, I've got a website. But no, there's nothing. It was just a platform for me to create my website. So, and I had to learn how to do CSS code and HTML code. So that was just a entry by fire into all of that. And my only experience of websites, like being in the mortgage broking industry, it was banks. And, if you've seen bank websites, they are incredibly boring. They've just got graphs on them and all sorts of stuff that nobody but economists and the banks themselves are interested in. So I thought, I'm not building that there. And then I went to a seminar over in the States in San Francisco. And it was run by Jay Abraham, who's a sort of a marketer over there, or well-known marketer. We're certainly well-known here. And I ended up coming back to New Zealand, and I built a long sales letter on a web page. That was my home page. And I remember at the time, free reports were big. So I offered this free report called the 10 Dirty Secrets that the banks don't want you to know. But that was the start to it all. And I ran that through for 10 years until I sold it, sold that business, got into web development because I thought I don't want to be in banking for the rest of my life. That's an incredibly soul-sucking, boring career. So I got into web development because I really, really enjoyed it. And I have to say that, people often say now that, the time of, being online, being on the web, it's past, all the good years, whereas in the, the early 2000s through about 2010 when everything was all new. The only problem was no one really knew about the online sort of stuff. So, to send an email was, what's that sort of thing that we were still using. But I think today is probably the best time to be online because there are so many tools that are available that used to cost, tens of thousands of dollars back when I started. Today, you can get them for free or for, I don't know, $20 a month, $30 a month. So it's just absolutely insane. And the whole tech has just got so much easier that there's no excuses for not being online.
I know. I have to agree. Like just in the podcasting space alone, how much it's changed. I've been in it for 10 years. And in the last 10 years, I can tell you things have got really simple for us. We have AI tools doing most of the hard work, the copy that you need. I remember my first podcast, I had to make the RSS feed. I had to learn how to make the RSS feed. Nowadays, you just upload it to a hosting platform and you have it all done for you. So I feel you when you had to learn CSS and HTML for website. I know how to build a podcast from the ground up. Nowadays, the tools are very easy. It's just plug and play. So yeah, no.
Well, the funny story is about that RSS feed. I came across that in 2001, and that was when I went to that Jay Abraham seminar, and when I came back home, I went back to the web platform that I bought for $10,000 and asked them about this, whether they've got an RSS feed. They said, "Oh, no, we don't. What is it?" So I explained it to them, but to their credit, the next day they had an RSS feed up, and then I had to work out, well, what do I do with this thing now?
It's always confusing. Not everybody, I still don't understand an RSS feed, and I had to build them. But when you transition from doing the mortgaging and dealing with the banks, and living in the bank world for a decade as well, I know how soul-sucking it is. So congratulations getting out of that place. But you went into helping businesses build their websites and become online. Did you go after other mortgage brokers, or did you decide to go outside and figure out some other people to help?
Oh, mate, I was done with mortgage brokers. I wanted nothing to do with that industry at all. So I'm going somewhere else. In fact, I sort of fell into web development quite by accident. Like when I left the mortgage broking, we moved my family from New Zealand to Australia. This is in the middle of the global financial crisis. So I got out of mortgage broking just at the right time. The banks were starting to go under. It was just, blood in the water sort of time. So I thought, yeah, time for me to get out. So we came to Australia, I came over to do affiliate marketing. I thought, I don't want an office. I had 25 staff with that broking firm. So I thought, it's just me. I want to be able to work out of a cafe, laptop, and no staff, no overheads. And I spent probably the first 8 months trying to wrangle this affiliate marketing sort of thing. Thought this has got to be the way to go. It's passive income, set it up, get paid all the time. I didn't realize how much hard work this was, and how easy all of the gurus and the teachers made it look. But in fact, there was, when you dig below the layers of it, there is just so much more that goes on there, and you can't do it by yourself. You actually need a team of people to do it. But part of that journey was I really sort of dug in deep to learn about web development, and I discovered a platform called WordPress. And that was just game-changing for me. And I was working as a telephone salesman selling timeshare properties for a company over here. Selling properties in the US, I'd have to say as well too, and around the world. It was the worst job I've ever had, I'd have to say. But the good thing about the job is it started at 10 in the morning. At 6 in the morning, I got to the cafe that was below the building where I worked, and I had my laptop with me, and I went from 6 till 10, just immersing myself in WordPress and code and learning it all until I got to the point where one day I had a friend of mine said, "Oh, you seem to know about this WordPress and web development stuff. How about I pay you to look after my website and so get all that stuff working properly. You can leave your job because I know you hate it, and you can go and get some other customers." And that there was the start of my web development business. And I had one customer, and I remember getting my second customer. I'd taken my kids to a karate class, and I was sitting in the karate class with all the other parents at the back. My phone goes off, and it's someone that had been referred through to me from God knows where, and she was a florist, and so I built her website, and she actually did all of the design. I just actually built the website for her, and then it just went on from there. So I had that agency for 39 years now, but that was really the start of the whole thing.
So it just started. So your whole career in web development was thanks to one friend realizing that, one, you're really good at this web stuff and I'm not, and I know you hate your job, so I'm going to pay you to take care of my website.
That's it. And I wasn't very good at this website stuff at all anyway.
We never are when we first start anything, and that's key. Like, we just have to be better than someone else, and that's our client. We have to just be better at it than our clients, so that they understand how valuable we are, because we save them time and money because we do the work for them. They can go out and get money now. So what was your methodology afterwards getting more clients? Like, you got the first one was from a referral. Like, your friend said, "Hey, I'm going to pay you." Then you got the referral from who knows where. Was it all? Did you start doing more referral-based things, or were you reaching out to businesses?
Well, it was probably a bit more organic than that, in the sense that I'm thinking, because I didn't know too much about this web development sort of thing and the whole business side of that. I did a mortgage broking business, which was I was going to say it wasn't particularly creative, but we did do some creative things in there. So this whole creativity field was brand new. So I went to a web designers meetup, and there would have been sort of a couple of hundred people there at the meetup. And I remember at the end of the meetup, the organizer was on stage and said, "Look, we're looking for speakers for future events. And if you want to be a speaker, come and see me afterwards." So I thought, "Oh, well, I'll go and see him." So I went and saw him after and said, "Look, I'm happy to be a speaker." And he said, "Oh, well, what can you speak on?" I said, WordPress security." So I made it up on the spot. He said, "All right, that sounds like a great topic. You're on next month." So I had to learn about WordPress security to start with. What do you have to do? So I spent the month there learning it, putting together a presentation, and I delivered it. And from that meetup, I got a client out of that. And so that just started my speaking journey, and I spoke at as many events that I possibly could. I was putting my hand up to do it, and so really that developed a brand, a reputation. People got to know me, and I used to get inquiries quite organically out of all that. I have to say, I never paid for any marketing for web development or my businesses. It's all been organic. And to this, even to this day here, like, I sold that agency in the middle of the pandemic, and set up the new agency, which is SmashGo. And with that, so that's been going now for 3 years. And from that start there to where we are now, if you Google my name, every single listing of mine takes up the first 6 pages of Google. So I'm 6 pages deep in it. And that was all organic. So it was there was no paid advertising, nothing. And that's what really drives my marketing. That's what I encourage my clients to do, is just to invest in getting good organic strategies going, because the difference between organic and paid is when you stop paying, when you're paying for ads, your leads dry up. But with organic, it's like a waterfall. You can't stop it. It just keeps on going. So the only way you stop it is you turn off your phone and you switch off your email.
You just close everything down.
Exactly. Yeah. So my whole in fact, my whole online journey has been an organic one. From back in 2001, when I built that first website, it's all been organic. And so I really believe in that. And I often see people that come to me that say, oh, look, I've tried Facebook ads and Google ads and all that. Didn't work. I spent more money than I got back, or I got nothing back on it. And my question to them always is, well, so what was your strategy? And then I just get this deer in the headlights sort of look of, whoa, what's that? So I say, well, let's work on that first. Stop all your paid ads. Let's work on, getting your branding, your strategy all right to start with. Let's get you sort of ranking up in, the Google search pages. And it's not that hard. In fact, I'll let you in on a secret, which you probably already know this, but being on your show here is one of my strategies.
It's the best strategy. It's like one of the simplest strategies, because not only are you having people hear you talk and they're listening, and the promotion that I do, but you get the back end links with, as I grow as a podcast or any podcast, my ranking goes up, your name gets to go up, and you're present. So you'll be 7-8 pages deep soon.
Absolutely. And it's like, how much work did I do for this? I spend sort of like half an hour, 45 minutes with you. And then you're the one that goes out and does all of the work and pushing it, promoting it and whatever. So it works well.
No, it's that's why I love podcasting, because not only do I get to, you put my podcast on your website, that backlinks my website, grows my podcast. It's a mutual beneficial relationship. And that's, podcasting is radio for the
and
new
I've
age.
already had people, like I tell people, so like, I'm on a podcast this morning at 7:00 in the morning. And they, what are you doing that for? I said, well, one thing is I enjoy talking, so that works for me. Second thing is I get to meet some cool people like you, and third thing is it's good for business as well. And so they say, well, whose podcast is it? So I say, oh, Phil Better. Well, who's he? Well, here's his link here. Go and have a look. He's done a whole lot of podcasts. So already before I'm even here, there are people sort of checking you out as well. And so it just becomes this whole mutual sort of admiration, sort of bromance type of sort of thing that happens. But it just sort of it works for you. It works for me. And people see that, and they say, I've had people saying, how do I get the same, the sort of marketing that you've got there? What do I need to do to pay you to do it? So I give them a few tips, and they'll say, well, just go out, make a few videos, get on a few podcasts, set up your own podcast, so get some of this organic stuff happening. And once you've done that, come back to me and then we'll work through a strategy. But often that's where it stops, because they're a bit frightened of either talking or being on video. So that's really the early starts we've got to do with people.
No, I love that you have podcasting in your strategy, because you know the power of the podcast, and it's something I don't think enough people understand how powerful it is, because it's the right type of marketing for when you get on a podcast that's your ideal listener or your ideal client is listening to, it's a direct message 24/7 when they listen to it. So
absolutely,
yes.
And I think too is like one of my things I say to people: what's the thing that you fear most? In this marketing, the online world. And usually it's this, speaking on a live podcast, or it's getting in front of camera and doing a live video on Facebook or whatever. So, and generally that's the thing that they fear most. Like, I'm not very good. I hate the sound of my voice. I don't like what I look like. And so I say, well, first thing is, when you get up and look at yourself in the mirror, you can't change it. That's what it is. And that's what people are seeing every day anyway. So just get over it. That's what they see. Your voice, again, can't change that as well. That's what people hear. Just don't listen to yourself back again if it really upsets you. But
that's the secret. That's my secret.
Yeah, that's it. But also, if you're afraid of it, who else is afraid of this and don't like doing it? If there are lots of people that don't like doing it, then go in and do it, because you haven't got much competition. So that's an easy way to start to get your organic stuff is go where people are frightened and they don't want to do it. And you'll really quickly start to grow your brand and your presence out there, because everyone else is running away from it while you're running to it.
Swim against the stream. That's what you got to do. That's what, to stand out, you have to go against the stream. How did you come up with the Smash and Go as the name of your business? Because it's a very unique name. Yeah.
Well, I've got it was a real struggle, but I've got a weekly podcast, webcast that I run called Business Owners Smashing It Online. And so that's been running for 6 years now. And so when I sold the other business, I was looking for a name for this, and it was really taking that concept and taking it further. So it was really just looking for a domain that was going to fit, and all the good domains were taken. So, I tried smashing it online, and I wanted something that didn't sound like a car repair place, sort of smashing it. And as it is, people think, not SmashGo, they think smash and go. So I sound like a bank robber, so it's like, So it was really just a real struggle looking for things, and I came across SmashGo because it had smashing it online, like the smash part of it, and go, which was a positive, just go and do it. It's a bit of a Nike sort of thing, just go, just do it, and because my philosophy is ready, fire, aim. So, you take action first and then you clean it up later on, which is how it needs to be online as well. So I'm shocking. I put stuff out there. It's got spelling mistakes. It's not quite right. It's like, and my team come back to me and say, you've just got all these spelling mistakes. I say, oh, can you just go and fix it up for me? Because I'm on to the next thing now. But yeah, the whole SmashGo thing was really struggling to find a domain name, and it was just coming up with concepts and words that we're going to work together. Because as we know, all the good domain names have gone now. So we've got to make our own.
Yeah, we just grab and grow and create the new next generation. I know there's one person in my network that has like 300,000 domains under his name. Yeah. He used to work, to be fair, he used to work for GoDaddy, so he kind of probably got them really cheap. But has so many domains. But it is true. Like the more domains you have, all the good ones are gone, and it's coming up with the variations to make yourself happy and that really align with your business. And going in that, now that we're on talking about websites, domain names for businesses, and you deal with transforming businesses into online presence, what would you suggest? Maybe a guide, a tip or guidance for someone, a business owner looking to get into the online space. They're a little hesitant because of all the gurus out there claiming like, oh, this will save you billions of dollars or whatever. What kind of tip can you give our audience to start it so that they can see the process work and then come later to come see you for more help?
Well, the very first thing I would say is just start. So everybody, even those gurus, started somewhere, and they weren't very good when they started, but they did start. And it's a bit like the that concept of if you take a coin, let's say, what do you call it? Like a 1 cent coin. We don't even have those coins over here. But if you take 1 cent,
we don't have. They're called a penny. I believe they were called a penny. They're no longer in Canada, but yes, a penny.
Okay. So a penny, a cent. So if you take that and double it every single day, then I think at about day 15, you have about $164 if you just double it every day. So it's not very much money, and it's hardly worth it. But then when you get to day 30, then you've got $1.6 million. So that doubling it, the real results come at the end. And so, if you're doubling 1,000, you get 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. So that's really where it accelerates. But you can never get to that point unless you start and sort of have this incremental thing up to $164. And the online world is a bit like that there. So that exponential growth, you have to put in all of that work for seemingly no effort for a period of time before at some point there, out of nowhere, you become an overnight success. Might take you 30 years to get there or 20 years to get there, but you'll never get that unless you sort of spend all of that time in the trenches there, feeling like this is a waste of time, of getting no traction. Am I investing all this time? Is there going to be a return out of it? I'm broke. I'm not making any money out of it. Everybody goes through that there, and it's that persistence and keeping going that really sort of pushes you through. And then one day it just snaps, and you become successful at it. And the other thing I would say too is that when you are starting, don't emulate the gurus and the people that are way up up here because they've spent all of that time there for no results. So you can't shortcut it. You have to actually just go through the process. You have to be willing to learn, willing to make mistakes, and just keep going no matter what. And I think that whole philosophy of ready, fire, aim is really important, because if we go ready, aim, fire, that stage of aim is where we sort of overthink things, and we've got this perfectionist streak. And as we know, if we try and get things perfect, things never get done. So it's better to have things done than perfect. And so that's why we reverse the order and say, ready, fire, aim is you just do a whole lot of stuff. You're going to make lots and lots of mistakes, but then you can come back and then you can come through and perfect it, fix it, change it. And, that honestly is the real secret to success online. And if you do that, you're doing what most people aren't doing, because everybody's trying to get it right, because they think everybody's watching them. Reality is no one cares, but they think everybody's watching you. But they're not, because if you think about on say Facebook, you do a live video on Facebook. If you crap, people just scroll on and they're never going to remember you. They're just going to say, they're not even going to say this is crap. It's just like, next. Don't remember it. But when you get good and you stop the scroll, that's when they remember you. So go through lots and lots of mistakes and horrible things because no one remembers it. And it's by doing that you get to be really good at what you do.
No, I have to agree with the just go and put out the get as much crap out there as possible. Not crap, but it's going to start off with crap. I always say when someone starts a podcast, your first episode is going to be your best, but also your worst episode, simply because you've never done it before. So it's going to be crap in your eyes, but it's going to be better than the one that you did before, which was you didn't have one. And every time you do a podcast,
you're always going to be better than the one than the person that hasn't done one.
Exactly. And I love the point where you brought up that most people are terrified for public speaking. That's like that, and I think the ocean are like the two, or heights are like the two biggest fears people have. And everybody's more wondering when they see you doing it, it's like, oh my God, I could never do that. How do they do that? It's like terrifying, and they don't take that leap to go do it. So you're again already further along when if you think you're going to be crap on it, don't worry. Most people aren't listening to you. They're wondering, how are you doing this? And have the gall, the energy and the courage to do something as putting yourself out there and doing public speaking in that.
Exactly. And look, I'm not very good at what I do. I just do it. People often, it's interesting, if I go to networking events, people come up to me and, I'll just introduce myself. So, oh, no, I already know you. I said, oh, really? So, I've seen you online. I've seen your webinars and whatever. Oh, okay. And so you get that there. And I've had someone come up to me when I was sitting at McDonald's, and I was I was not there because of the food. I was there because of the Wi-Fi, and I was about to go into an event, and I was just putting some last touches together before I went and got stuff printed and then off to my event. And he came up to me, he said, are you Nik Cree? And I'm thinking, how do I answer that? So it depends what you're asking for. And I said,
are you looking for money or are you looking for help?
That's right. And I said, oh, yes. And he said, I'm so glad to meet you. He said, I follow you and I watch everything of yours online. He said, I'm just so inspired. He said, I'm just getting into business. I want to come along to your events there, but you've helped me so much, to get my business started and off the ground, to get to where I just want to come up and say thank you. And I look forward to being on your show at some time. So, and that's happened, a few times. Like I'm famous in my town. There are, I don't know, a few thousand people, but really, you never know who's watching you. You never know who you're inspiring, and you never know who you're actually helping by doing what you're doing. So by just stepping out and taking action before you're ready, you get to the point where you're 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps ahead of somebody else. And you get to help them. You might not even know that it's happening, but you will. And then out of that, and I know I've had customers that have come out that I've never heard of before. They've been watching me for years, for months, and that they just send through an email because they want some help. And it's just that whole organic process of just getting out there, just doing so. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. You just need to become famous in your little patch there. And it doesn't actually take much to do it. It just takes getting out and doing things like this.
Oh, I love it. We're nearly at the end, but I want to get this question out because you've been in the digital entrepreneur world for quite some time now. First with your mortgage-based
years, Phil, just to put my age in there.
I don't want to hurt you, but that's nearly the same age as I am, so I don't really want to say that. I make you feel a little older, but I would love to hear a memory, maybe of you helping a client reach their goal that really impacted and said, this is why I do what I do, or something you were able to achieve because of your business.
Look, that'd probably have to be, like I've got a recent one there, and currently we're running a course on how to use Canva for business. So Canva is an app for people that are not graphic designers to make them look like sensational graphic designers.
Oh, I love it.
But inside there are some insanely good tools to do things like manage your social media. So you can do that all from within the web platform, inside the Canva platform. Create a website, one-page website. Do all sorts of things in there. So for people that are non-techie, it's a great place to get started. And I know we've got someone that came onto that program, and actually she's from Canada as well. And she at the end of the first session, and she was just sort of struggling with some of it on the way through. And she said, "Thank you so much." She said, "I really feel like I've got a grasp of this here. I didn't realize I could actually do this." By the third session, so that was the one that's just gone by, she said, "This is incredible. I've got stuff up there online. I didn't even know that I could do this." But we've taken her through a step-by-step journey, and she's in Canva. She's not a graphic designer. She's created some sensational stuff. She's got a website landing page up. She's got her ebook done. She's even created a 3D book cover, which she can put up on the landing page. She's got a she's got a lead capture system in place, which is just Google Forms, by the way. So it's nothing fancy. It's not a CRM. And so she's got all this there. And for me, there are two words that really encapsulate my values and what I do. And one of them is possibility. I want people to see that there are possibilities and that things are possible. So that's the very first thing. And then once they see that it's possible, the second word that's important is confidence. So what I endeavor to do is to give people the tools and the teachings so that they get confidence, like this person here, to say, "I've done this, I did this." And so possibilities and confidence are the two things that are really core to your online journey. And I think that's how I developed along the way as well too. I'm a big possibility seeker and see things, and that confidence comes only by doing. You never get it by reading, you only get it by doing. And so that there is well, I suppose that success story there is it just makes everything all worthwhile.
Oh, I love it. I love how after just like 3 sessions with you, their mind is completely blown about what they were able to do. And that's a testament to you and the knowledge that you've accumulated over these last 30 years doing what you do and doing the business. We do need to jump into the spark question. We're getting a little long here, and I apologize that we're cutting off someone.
I can't stop talking.
No. I love that you're talking. It's just wisdom, and I'm just soaking it up, going, yeah, please give me more. The reason why I do this show is to learn from amazing entrepreneurs like yourself. That's the core of this episode. The show is to help people understand how great business is and learn from experts like yourself. So we're going to get to the spark question here from Seek Discomfort. And I like this. I'm very interested to hear what your answer to this. When was the last time you tried something for the first time?
Oh, the last time I tried something for the first time. I would have to say that was yesterday.
Oh.
And the reason why I would say that is here's the interesting thing about the Canva program that we're running. I'm running it with my my partner, and she did a Canva presentation on our webinar, like the free webinar that we run every week, and out of that, people said, "Oh, we want to learn more." So we said, "Okay, well, let's put together a course, 6-week course." So we did. It took us 2 weeks to put it together. We have not even developed the content for it before we put it together. So week 1, we're developing the content, as we go up to that week 1. We do week 1, then for week 2, we've got to start and develop the content for week 2. So the good thing about this Canva course is that they have just released a whole lot of new features and functions in there. So in order to be able to teach it, we have to learn it. So Jenny's my partner. So her and I are in there, and just yesterday we're learning some of the new AI tools that they've got inside Canva, and the excitement of learning it for the first time, and then teaching it is it's just incredible. And so I'm an avid learner of things, and so the best way to learn stuff, I think, is to teach it. So you go through, you learn it, you just make your discoveries, and then you teach it to other people. That does 2 things. One is it locks it in for you, and the second thing is you get to inspire other people so that they can start to lock it in themselves. So yes, yesterday, the course we're running, that was when I learned them for the first time.
Awesome. I love it. And I love your ideology. Learn something, teach it, lock it in, because it's true. The minute you teach something, you grasp it, because you have to come up with the idea and how to explain it to someone else. So it makes it cemented in your brain. Nik, I can't thank you enough for that amazing answer. I'm going to jump off stage here. I want you to let my audience know where they can follow you, where they can sign up for your free webinars or even your Canva course, because I know how powerful Canva is. As a podcaster, I use it nearly daily to make these thumbnails for my episodes and that. So please, sir, the floor is yours.
As I dominate the first 6 pages of Google, the best place to find me is Google my name, Nik, N-I-K-C-R-E-E. You'll find me there in 6 pages deep. You can choose whatever you want to find there. But the other place to go is obviously smashgo.co. So smashgo.co. All of what we do is there, that free business owners smashing an online webinar. You can click through to it from there. We've got a whole lot of resources on there, which you're free to come and download and use. And of course, if you want to ask me any questions at all, we have a way to contact me there as well too. So website is the central place, smashgo.co.
Excellent. Nik, I want to thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure talking with you. I'm definitely going to be checking out your webinar because I want to see what you're teaching, and obviously I need to learn more so I can teach it to others and move them towards your platform. So thank you again for coming on the show and teaching us.
Excellent. It's been a real pleasure here, Phil. Really enjoyed it.
And to my audience, if you want to get in contact with Nik, if you search his name on Google, you'll find him 6 pages deep, or you can just look in the show notes. I'll put all the links there. Maybe a little quicker than using Google to search. You can just use it straight from your phone. But I want to thank you all for listening, and remember to always invest in yourself.